So today Tyler and I are at Salmon Point Marina, just south of Campbell River. It's a great spot. You can see behind me there's a place to launch your boat, plenty of parking for your truck and trailer, lots of moorage in the area. There's even RV camping. The great thing about this location is that it's north of Courtenay and south of Campbell River. So when you come out of the marina, you have the opportunity of going right and fishing 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗏 or Bates Beach, or you can go left and fish Shelter Point, or even the bottom end of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗃 Island, the green and red cans. This morning, we've decided that we're going to go left to Shelter Point to fish the rising top of the tide there. And then as it starts to ebb, we're going to move over to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗃 and fish the ebb tide at the bottom end of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗃.
My name's Tyler.
And I'm James, and we're going to take you around BC to introduce you to local guides to learn their tricks and techniques so that when you turn up there, you feel like you've fished it your whole life.
This is the Guide's Guide.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Good to see us. My buddy Tyler.
Tyler.
Nice to meet you, Shane.
Welcome.
May I hop aboard, Captain?
Come on aboard.
Awesome.
Shane's got goodies out on the back of his boat already. We'll be talking to him about that in a couple of minutes.
We'll get fired up and chase the sunrise. Yeah, if you take a compass and make a 50-mile circle, there's like 40 different fishing grounds you can get to from here. Pretty amazing spot.
So, lucky. Shane and I met each other about 11 years ago fishing the West Coast at Rogers Lodge. We've been buddies ever since. We're really glad to be out here on the water with him today. It's exciting. We do a little bit of fishing together anyway, but today I'm just going to change my sort of ways and keep my mouth shut and listen to what Shane has to say. Looking forward to a great day in the water.
Downrigger clips, can't fish without them. All right, so that's loose. If you pull that thing back, that's the firm setting. Because we fish in a lot of current in Campbell River, we set them all the way to the back.
What are you gonna start with?
Well, I'm gonna start with this MR3 Islander reel. West Coast Fishing Tackle rods and reels. And look at the screen, we got fish on the screen already.
This is the screen here. You can see this is us on the right-hand side. That's the tack that we're taking, or the direction that we're heading. On the left-hand side, this is the bottom here in the yellow, and those are fish coming along the bottom and bait coming along the bottom there at about 240 feet.
So to give you guys an overview of exactly what we did, we left Salmon Point and started heading north towards Shelter Point. We're fishing off of this little hump right here, and this is the tack that we're taking, making sure that we don't tack our way into the RCA line. This episode is brought to you by West Coast Fishing Tackle, the quality anglers deserve. Parksville Boathouse, your full-service boat dealer and chandlery. Gone Fishing, serving Vancouver Island and beyond for over 30 years.
Red is great this time of year. Can't go wrong with the chartreuse.
And that looks like a 3.5-inch naughty by West Coast Fishing Tackle.
Sure is.
No bananas.
And that thing is unstoppable. It's been the best lure of the season so far. I like to go 20 feet back. All depends on the speed you're going. Set that clip right to the back of the clip. Put it in the hard mode. And away we go.
That's the black herring by West Coast Fishing Tackle. Jeff made that. That's the first prototype. It doesn't have a swivel on the back. And that's one of the West Coast Fishing Tackle prototype flashers that are coming out this year.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Look at that thing. That's gonna catch some fish. And James likes his lures 6 feet.
5 to 6 feet.
I like mine 4. We'll see which one works out better. We always like to have a little competition between the guides, see who catches more fish. Yeah, we got the TR3 Islander reel on this side. Boy, it sounds good. Away we go. And all the big fish live on the bottom, so there we go, down to 247 feet.
Fish on.
All right. Come on, baby.
Hit on. What's
Remember,
set up to that hit on, Shane? That was Nate. We've been on the water now for about 5 minutes, and we're in. Taking a little line on us. This is how we want to start the morning.
That's a good start.
Thank you, Shane, for putting us on our first fish. Set up on this reel is 300 yards, a 50-pound braid, and then a 60-foot, 40-pound top shot on top of it. I think this is going to be
It's slowed down quite a bit.
a releaser.
Nice little scrappy Chinook salmon.
He is a scrapper.
Look at all the energy. All right, look at that. Beautiful fish. And then, because we don't want to handle them, you just gap release like that, and away they go. No handling necessary. Asa! All right.
Thanks, my friend.
Hey, look at that. And we're right back into the bait.
Nice.
Right here.
And this is the only place I used to fish in the wintertime.
Yeah, it's good winter fishing right here, yeah. And it's great because it's 4 minutes from the marina.
Yeah, that is nice.
Gotta love being able to see the marina.
Yeah. And on nice calm days like today, pretty much any size boat can come out here fishing and get into fish. What size cannonballs are you fishing?
I like to fish 20s or at least 18s because we fish really deep here. In August, we can fish up in the shallows, but in the winter, all the fish are down in 250 to 300 feet. So even with a 20-pound cannonball, I've still got almost a 45-degree angle there. So it's 220 deep right now, and we can probably run our cannonballs at 275.
Oh, fish on this side.
There we go. Pop the clip. Feel like heck to catch up to it. Set the hook. Oh, that's a good salmon. Look at the bend in that rod.
Nice.
What was that? 217 feet. Pretty good head shakes.
Oh, nice.
Getting some
Nice
pretty
head
good head
shake.
shakes. Oh, it's pulling line.
Nice.
There he is, getting to the surface. Well, he's keeping his head in the water. He doesn't want to come up.
You looking for dinner?
I'd probably take a dinner fish.
I think he's pretty close there, Shane.
Oh, it's a keeper.
It's a keeper. Nice.
64 centimeters. Get a lot of squirmish people out here fishing that really don't want to touch the fish. We've got these fancy little fish holders, and it just makes it too easy. Slip it in the gill, and away you go. Not a bad little fish to start the morning. That's gonna make a delicious dinner tonight. We're gonna have Thai chili salmon bites.
So Shane's going to give us a little rundown here of some of his favorite lures to use out in the 𝗂𝗏𝗄𝗃 area here. Shane, what do you got?
So we're here for herring spawn right now. So we'll start off earlier in the season with reds and greens. And as we get a little bit farther into the season, we transition to the blacks and blues. Then when we get into August and the big fish are around, we get into the whites and the yellow and pink and into the big plugs. Blues are great once you start to get into June. We like the blacks and the purples once we get into August, and the greens this time of year in March and April. And then there's some good ones. Look at the teeth marks on this guy.
602.
yeah.
Right? Or look at the teeth marks on that one. That one has caught a lot of fish. And then this one, it looks beautiful. I can't catch a fish on it. Keep trying. It looks so good. Won't catch anything. Funny how it works.
This episode is brought to you by Gone Fishing, serving Vancouver Island and beyond for over 30 years. West Coast fishing tackle, the quality anglers deserve. Parksville Boathouse, your full-service boat dealer and chandlery.
All right, so Crabby's charters were open in February and March, and then we closed down for April and the first half of May, and then we're open around May 15th till the end of September. We do 5-hour, 6-hour, and 8-hour trips. Our 8-hour trips, we go out and we'll do some prawning, and we can usually cover salmon and either some sightseeing or some bottom fishing or pulling the prawn traps. and we can take up to 6 people on the boat, which is great. Big back deck. We've got a heated cabin inside. There's a washroom downstairs. And yeah, great times at Crabby's Charters. We are gonna move. The tide has changed. The ebb tide's starting, and we're gonna go fish over by the north part of 𝗂𝗏𝗏.
One of the things you got to watch out for here in the winter time with the big tides and the storms they've had is there's lots of wood in the water. So I like to take my regular hooks, obviously squeeze the barb down and bend them in a little bit like that. See how it's bent in? And then if you can, offset it slightly to one side. Now we're talking.
Pretty big offset. That's gonna catch some fish.
Yes, sir.
That barb is perfectly pinched. Couldn't get wool in there if you tried. All right, so the ebb tide has started. We've moved away from Shelter Point, and we're now on the southeast corner of 𝗂𝗏𝗏 Island, which is right here, right by Francisco Point. And now that we have the ebb tide, it's pushing all the bait up into this bank here. So we're rubbing the edge of the bank, still fishing the same depth, around 240 feet. And we are right at the entrance to Desolation Sound right here. You can see all the islands, beautiful spot. And there is tons of humpback whales and killer whales always around here. So we see them, I'd say at least once or twice out of every 3 or 4 trips. All right, so back to fishing on the ebb tide out here. The ebb tide goes up towards Browns Bay, and if I'm fishing the flood out here, I find it pushes me off the bank, and I end up out in 350, 400 feet of water, and it's impossible to get up into the fishing area you want to be in. So I'll get out here to the point, and then I'll follow the ebb tide all the way up into Campbell River by the lighthouse. Makes it much easier to stay on your location and keep in your 250 to 270 feet of depth that you're targeting.
Awesome. So what a great end to our sort of 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗃 journey here with the guide's guide. We had an opportunity to fish the south end of 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗃 with Steve a couple weeks ago, and today we're out with Shane from Crabby's Charters, and we fished the north end of 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗃, the south end of Campbell River. We had some really good success early on in the day. We moved over to a spot called the Green Can for the tide change. Beautiful day on the water, flat, calm, and just an absolutely amazing experience. So thanks so much for taking us out and showing the folks all your little tips and tricks and the gear that you like to use out here. And hopefully when you guys come out here, you'll have a successful trip when you're out.
Yeah, and if you're ever around and you want to learn an area, always the possibility to hire a guide. Shane's available, Steve are available for the first day to show you the area. They'll also possibly get in your boat and show you how to fish in your boat in these areas as well. But yeah, enjoy the 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗃 Valley, and thanks again, Shane, really appreciate it.
What a beautiful day. Thanks guys so much for coming out. Wow, March is just beautiful out here. Pretty lucky.
Awesome. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Shane. Thanks, James.
If you guys find yourself out in the 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗃 Valley fishing here in the next couple of months, definitely drop a comment below and let us know how you did.